A 10-foot drop of 3.5 tons, nothing is stopping that but the ground.
Yeah, and I did give you a dodge roll, but that was not a spectacular one.
It was not. Harmon lived his life as he did, till he was dead.
Okay, so how the rest of you going to handle this?
Well, it seems like everyone's kind of given up talking to the person who keeps trying to talk to them from within the mill. So
Yes,
Caesar,
I've
having
noticed
given
that.
up his hiding spot, will go ahead and try to speak up a little bit. Perhaps you could start by telling us what you intended that man for.
Isn't it obvious
Why were you after him?
he is the real heir? I think that's quite obvious now.
Well, it'd be better if I heard it from them, don't you think? He just kind of like whispers and nudges you a little.
He just thinks we're stupid for asking. I've already asked. But it might be good to hear it from the horse's mouth, but the otter is.
Once he was the key to great power. Now, that place has been stolen from him. Thanks to the machinations of that, Lyrastones. No, Lyrastones? Something like that.
So we have one more ass to kick.
What exactly is your bid in all of this? What do you get out of this? Or what were you going to?
Control the air.
To restore the air.
You know, if you have the true air, you can always try. We're just asking for a little bit of coin for returning him.
It is too late. That Lyrastones and his pretender are already established.
More established than someone who's lived here all his life?
Huh. Surely you notice that hardly anyone seemed to remember his existence. He was a second son. Nothing that was considered important to the succession until both were taken out.
Not the heir, but the spare. Good enough. He's a witness to the murder. He can recognize who did it. So I think that would be more than enough.
That much would be obvious. Anyone who's taken one glance at him knows it must have been the Amelsan. Must have been Miss Jacoba.
Yes, so all we need
Jacoba,
to do
that
is...
sweet old fox?
The Dawn married an heir. Married the
You're echoing.
Sorry.
The Dawn made an error in marrying that necromancer.
Well, all we have to do is get this man here, and she points to the gray fox.
No, the gray fox is back in town, you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind that. Doug, and we have him go to your, halls of study and see the. Let me try to read this word. Amagnatesia, and for the GM, that is the a common term for green and purple magic. But anybody can ask her what that means, and she'll tell them. The wizards that wear the green or purple robes, she'll say.
Sorry, I missed the first half of the suggestion.
Oh, we need to only get him to. She used him more in character term, but she says just take him to a hall of study and bring him to the mages who wear the green and purple robes.
Oh, you sweet summer fool. The one who wears the green and purple robes is none other than Lyrastones. You can guess how he found his pretender.
Well, shit. Guys, we might have to fight a mind wizard.
Well, now that
Or
you're
you
stuck in this windmill, what do you intend to do about all of this now?
My bid is failed. I will have to return to my previous. I'll have to go back to doing what I was doing and give up on these delusions of grandeur, basically, but fancier.
Perhaps we could come to an agreement. For you see, we are desperately wanting some of the money that you originally offered for that poor tragic young man. And you do still want something out of all of this, I would assume. I think I at least have it in my interest to restore that man to his proper state of mind and get him whatever means of justice he can have. But I'm sure he'd love to know that your name was involved and that you were instrumental in helping find him and restore him. So perhaps for the amount of gold you were willing to part with in the first place, he'll definitely know your good deeds.
You underestimate the tides of politics. Once Lyrastone's pretender is accepted by the houses and the guilds, it hardly matters who the true heir was.
Let's see. If I remember right, wasn't the linchpin in all this the broker we talked to who actually owns all the properties right now and needs this person in particular?
Or no, he needs the signature of this person.
Exactly.
or whoever is pretending to be this person. We could literally just see how this all pans out if we really. Because let's be honest, none of us are politically savvy enough to actually see this poor heir return to his throne.
Well, if it's all the better business for me, I may as well try.
What the heck? How do you think you're going to pull it off then?
One step at a time. The first being, and he'll just like return to trying to address into the windmill wherever this person is hiding. First step being, perhaps back to that talk of money. No way I could convince you, is there?
No, but you've got at least a loyal bone in your body. I can recommend a curse remover who might be able to help with the heir's problems. It is, however, no problem of mine anymore.
Well,
And
you know,
then she gives the name of a plot hook, so.
well, that might still be a good place to start, if any. So I will take that plot hook and then
Alright.
scribble it down in my book.
We'll get to that at another session. Maybe later this session. I don't know. It's pretty early.
So, what do you three think we should do from here? Simply leave her?
Well, we have no further use for her except for her money, and we see we're trying to get that goddess. And she points over to the smear of Harmon.
Ah, yes, time to take the body back with us at the very least.
Yes.
Yeah.
See if we can pry him out of this armor. That metal is very hard and rigid.
Now we just need to find another giant able to fit it.
Or just melt it down and sell it for ingots.
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking that the main conceit of this all could be solved by killing fellow party members.
Maybe we could sell that for the coin.
Hey, if you just take enough wealth gifts and the rest of the party commits suicide.
Well, if I take Ryder's trappings, then that might happen to me too.
This wasn't actually party backstabbing. This was self-stabbing, basically.
It was floor stabbing if you want to get technical.
Still, we'll go ahead and take custody of what's on him.
All right.
And at the very least, maybe ask her, like, where could we possibly find you again if we wish to talk? I don't suppose you actually live here, do you?
One moment. This might be somewhere in the description, but I've got a long-standing complaint about how badly this is laid out.
Actually, if we're quick about this, now I assume that the common white magic is similar to what is cast in Calabria. They're just maybe given different, more artful names. So she could say, and I'll translate it as Calabrian spell. We could perhaps sell that armor and then give the proceeds to the church for Lazarus' heart to try to bring him back, if he will come. So he should hurry.
Isn't that like minutes?
Oh yeah, and we're pretty far out, so that might not be a good idea.
I mean, you might not necessarily know that, but you might
That's
not necessarily know about Lazarus' heart at all.
But they've got white magic. They just call it something else, and they believe in a different sort of the light. The religion.
Yeah, it is probably the same magic. That's a high level stuff, and probably something the church keeps under wraps. I don't know how commonly known it is in Akoma.
Well, some of the ability might know about it because others in their family could have benefited from it. But that I will leave that up to you as like, if this has happened in my character's past, that's up to you.
Yeah, we'll say no, just because I'm kind of skeptical about the how well known that is.
That is fine. I'd rather not do meta knowledge if I can help it. So knowing what is and isn't meta is helpful. So thank you for answering that for me.
Well, it's also very controversial, so
Yes.
it seems like more like a church secret sort of thing.
Yes. The kind of thing they move priests around for.
Also, if you attempted to do that, I would be so horribly disfigured that I might kill myself.
Yeah, there's probably bones sticking out of things.
Well, no, it says that the target was overkilled. The target may still survive as above, but they may also be horribly disfigured. To the point of retraining gifts.
I mean, certainly be retraining the signature gear trap since you had to sell it. Anyway, you got a the name of somebody who might be able to uncurse the true Fabrizzo. You know that there is a pretender who been raised, having been put forth by a green and purple mage, probably actually believes they are Fabrizzo. And you've got the green and purple mage himself. Give me a academics check.
Ooh. Let's see. Mind and academics. There's one. 2 successes.
All right. You remember that name? He is actually one of the tutors at Dunwasser College, and is in fact the primary scholar on green and purple magic, Lyrastones. Lyrastogones? I'll just spell that out in the chat and somebody else can tell me how to pronounce it.
I've heard it as Lystragones from Rafferty.
Lyrastogones? Lystragones.
So we do always have a way to confront him at the very least. At the very least, I could go talk to him, but that might not get us anywhere without evidence. And the strongest evidence we have, of course, is to bring that man back to his full mental condition.
Well, does anybody in this group have supernatural dice?
Ostensibly I do.
Barely.
I do not.
A little bit.
Because there's also a thaumaturgy spell that could help him by removing any magical effects on him.
I
And
could get onto that in about
that
3
would
years.
be it's more advanced spell, so not everybody would know about it. So that's why I'm discussing maybe get a supernatural to see if you got the chops to know what a thaumaturge can do.
Even if they don't, they've got the name of somebody who would.
Excellent.
All right. Let's check out this person then. Since that seems to be the next part of the plot.
All right, so you head into Triskelion. The Gray Fox, who you now know is the true Fabrizzo, is quite happy to see Liz again. You take him up to the college to locate the person who you were told to look out.
One who could manage the curse.
Yes. And he looks over the fox and gives a price for his services of
Did assume that we dragged Harmon's armor back.
yeah.
Okay, I'll first before we do that, I'll drop it off in the safety deposit room area wherever, and then we can.
Yeah, we can keep a company fund, and this might just be the beginning of it. So, Raikados, if you get the time, maybe put a document in the journal tab, I think it is. Yes, so that we can fill out with party loot.
Okay, I don't know. That's a roll 20 thing, right?
Yes. Theta can probably tell you how to do it.
Handout or
Yes.
player's name, company assets, save changes. Show to players. Show to everyone. All right.
Okay, how much do we want for the earth armor, or do we want to wait for me to get haggling? Because I am thinking of
We'll
going
just put
into
it away. It's probably better
Yeah,
that we
let's hold
keep
it for
than
now.
discard it.
Too soon. Too soon.
And I guess the other thing is to collect Harmon's remains and have him buried, or
Okay,
buried
so
See, funeral.
in hallowed ground.
All right. The church asks if you've got any final remarks, his life, etc., that you want to have remarked on at his funeral.
Just
Definitely tilted at windmills.
He-
That
He
Don
has zest
Quixote
for life.
motherfucker.
he was. No, in all seriousness, he was no nonsense. He stood by his friends. He had a zest for life.
It was the essence of strength and bravery combined.
he had so much ass to kick it ended up killing him.
He was very big. I have a way with words.
All right. So, let's see. You're able to uncurse the young fox, but he's less frightened out of his mind now, and more what has been going on these past so many months. He remembers them, but he hasn't been able to think so much. So he remembers being a prince in the past, but he's been spending the last 3 months or so as a raving lunatic.
I would advise you simply take it easy for a moment. I'll try to explain everything in due time, but try not to exert yourself.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give him a hug and just reassure him.
He clings to you for a bit.
Looks like you've made a friend.
So Caesar will try his best to get through his questions and clarify this has happened, this has happened. This is where we
Yes.
stand.
And it was definitely the Dawn's very shortly ex-wife, like 2 days after the divorce, who used black magic on his brother and father.
Ooh.
See, he actually escaped through the cellar from a couple skeletons going after him, but he doesn't really remember much, as the curse took hold shortly after.
Well, that does make you a prime witness to all this now, doesn't it? And of course, maybe puts you in precarious position as well.
I never actually studied for all this. That was my older brother's thing.
Fair enough, but it does seem like the responsibility would fall to you at this point. So I suppose that's the main question. Do you intend to follow up on it?
Maybe
Will be the
if I'm
take a boat
ready,
and
but
leave.
Unwind first.
let's just say politics is scary. The stories my brother would tell me.
Well, what did you practice instead?
Can I follow along with you guys?
Well, we
Well-
do need another member.
Liz,
Sounds
you're
like he
getting
would
a
be a good
follower.
friend to have. But
You
I'm
now
sure
have
the
a
family
person
would
in
not
exile.
appreciate it.
Liz, your make a friend goal is going to be rewarded with an ally.
Oh, yeah, with the heir of the Rinaldi.
The deposed heir of the Rinaldi.
The deposed heir of the Rinaldi. Okay.
Whose imposter currently sits on the throne. I believe, right? Yes.
Well, I never
Appearances.
anticipated that, but okay.
Yeah, appearances are everything. This is very early, but do we want to try wrapping this up?
If it's a good spot, it's okay by me.
Yeah. Basically, epilogue is you, when you actually go to get the money from Tamarillo, Lyra Stone and his pretender have signed away the estate, and Tamarillo's liquid again. So you've got your money, and you can head back, unless there's anything else you want to do here in Triskelion.
Other than
Well, I
wink
think
the
bringing
good
the
man.
true heir to another country and having him train in exile might be a possible plan for him in the future. So we'll just see how well that goes from here.
All right.
But did we actually get our shares in that shipping company? Did we actually
Did you
follow
tap
through on that?
wealth for him?
I did not, no.
Okay, so you haven't followed through on that plan.
Yeah. It was an idea, but all right. So if you leave Triskelion, then the trip back is fairly uneventful. The not
Does the obnoxious Baron give us any trouble?
he the person he has watching that for him now is less of an asshole than he is.
He doesn't want to go out and get embarrassed again, I assume.
Yes.
Those dirty peasants always making fun of me.
Hey now,
Um,
that was a proper duel by a nobleman, not just peasant.
and how much are you telling your employer? I want to say Duke, but not Archduke, right? It's not the top political of Bisclevet lands. What's the level below that?
I'm not sure, but if Archduke is the top, then Duke below sounds about right.
All right.
But I guess that might be up to Max. What do you want to do with your new friend? Because Caesar will keep his beak shut about all this and go, oh, it went about as planned once money came flowing again.
Oh, well, as far as my new friend goes, if he's comfortable staying with me, I'm comfortable to have him around, so I'm not gonna shoo him away or say anything.
Not gonna go, hey, opposing nation to Triskelion, you want their heir? Their real heir?
Nope.
Yeah, you got a political
I'm
bomb
kinda
in
with-
your hands. Drop it wherever you want.
I'm kind of with the politics here. That does amuse me far more. I think we'll just tell him that we got his money. Although it took a little bit of time due to the whole dispute, the whole succession crisis going on over there.
All right, so I'm not really familiar with the ally gift. The stats for Brizzo are basically an elite fox beggar, but he probably needs an additional career now that he's remembered having used to be a politician's son.
I think the way ally works is that you upgrade ally to match the NPC or something.
Well,
So,
for
like-
ally, you can create you choose the ally that you want, so you can choose their race and their career. If you want to get gang of irregulars, you first have to have ally as the keystone.
Right, but you can upgrade ally itself
Yeah,
for
can
from
take
the
a gift,
D6
upgrade
to
ally.
like D8s and etc.
Yeah, it's basically one gift at a time, though, because Raph explained, like, you don't want your the story is about you, not your ally. So
Right.
And it's also improved ally is the gift you use to improve ally. So if you wanted them to be an elite, you'd have to have 5 gifts of improved ally, because allies start at D6s.
All right, so he may be forgetting how to be quite as foxy as he was. All right.
sure, I mean, he can lose his danger sense or something.
Well, I meant going from Fox D8 beggar D8 to Fox D6 beggar D6.
Well, I'm just saying the equivalent of giving somebody an elite ally is like, what, 70 bonus experience? It's quite the reward.
And he's
Yeah,
odd
no.
to have ally. It would kind of suck if they didn't match.
He can
Yeah.
also just be an NPC as well. I don't know.
Does he
Or
have to be bigger?
alternative two,
Does he have to be bigger, or could I assume that breaking the spell made him remember his previous career?
That's fine.
Because yeah, I'll keep him around. I'll probably make him like a dilettante or something that seems fitting.
All right. And you're the one who has firearms anyway, so that's easy enough to explain.
Yeah, I made friends with somebody I never thought I would make friends with.
You absolutely got an inroad into royalty now, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Your character's end goal is now become queen, I think.
Yeah, possibly. It depends on how it translates out. But
Hey, he's scared of politics. He doesn't want to do it, so you'll just take over for him, right? It'll be so
Because
much
that works
easier
so
on
well
him.
for his father.
oh,
Exactly. His father ended up pretty well for it. He could trust you.
Marrying into the politician, that works so well for his father.
I resent being compared to the Jacobins.
Why?
Because I'm not.
I don't know. They're
Jacobin.
successful. You can be successful.
Jacoba is the best
Yeah.
family.
She was hoping just to get an insider in the Rinaldi family, but now it's the realization that if she plays her cards right, she might end up being somebody really important, and that's actually kind of intimidating.
Or, living alone in a swamp. Being
Or
called a
getting
necromancer.
assassinated for your potential to start a rebellion.
Yeah, that too. So she's kind of quiet, but just being there for him and holding his hand, giving him a hug, and
All said though, we did accomplish 2 goals in one swoop. The money is back, and we did in fact confront Recondite.
That's right. So I've started Liz, you've got the ally. Let's see. Also, what's a good gift for stuff you might have heard from Fabrizio about politics? Insider Rinaldi?
sure, it's fine by me.
what does that do?
It's a bonus you can tap when interacting with them.
Okay.
Yeah, if knowledge of the Rinaldi matters, it's a reroll, right?
Well, you can use it for going to the Rinaldi family and asking for help, or using it for, getting in with them. It can be a lot of potential different things. Like if
Knowing
I
things
have a
about
gang
them.
of irregulars, I could theoretically use that to attract dilettantes from the family to join me. But sure, I mean, insider with the Rinaldi's fine by me. I just roll a 20 if you ask me.
Oh yes, you've got a little bit more than what you asked for.
Yeah, this is
Possibly
literally be
dangerously
careful what
so.
you wish for. So
Yeah. And so that's Liz. Harmon, I'm sorry. If you look it up, you said you had the book, right? Keep in mind that the map is rotated 90 degrees. I have the door on the top. The door is actually on the side in the book, but you'll see that the second floor, the millstones are there.
It's alright, I believe you.
Nefretu.
Yes, there's no T in that.
Neferu.
Yes.
Let's see. You got your ally. He says you can get your gang of irregulars. They're waiting back on the ship.
All right.
What did you want?
Which gift was that for? The get my patron's money back to him or confront recondite?
We'll say it's confront recondite. So you ended up coming back with more than you left with because you did a little recruiting. And what do you want for that second gift?
Well, I plan on being able to ride, so that what would that be? Mounted combat that allows me to not have my dice limited?
We can say that you splurged after getting your money for what is it, Cavalier's equipment, and then you can learn how to ride. Does that sound right?
Yeah, so that's how I got what I did with my patron's money. I just bought all my horsey shit. Well, not my Dispear shit.
All right. And Griffin, Dr. Caesar.
Yup, that's me.
So what's the doctor doing?
I think training up the secrets of star magic is probably what he's after.
All right, so you might have been able to get some magic tips somewhere along the lines. Let's go for one journeyman gift.
One journeyman gift and
let's see. Yeah, the let's go for insider with Dunwasser. Except it isn't Dunwasser. It's the Bisclavet competing college.
competing. I'm gonna just write down that exact word.
Yeah.
We'll decide on a name later, I'm sure.
It has a name. I just don't remember what it is.
We'll discover it in the intervening week. There we go. I'm just becoming a teacher over there and learning from them instead.
All right. And Cunabald. You wanted earth magic spells, right?
What? Or possibly just raising my warlock die type would be nice.
All right, so one warlock, one gift of landslide,
Okay.
or secrets of earth magic. Gift of landslide.
I
Give you
think
something to actually do in combat rather than just throw rocks at people.
Okay.
I need to give you a third token. Did you get the token for Reject?
Who are you talking to?
You, the GM.
Okay, I do not.
I sent it to you specifically over Discord. And I already assumed that Roll20 has dinosaur tokens that you can use for the mounts.
Okay, I
Not
see
a
a couple zip files.
Yeah, it's Reject is the one you're looking for.
Yes, I see Runejek.
Now, the other one above it is Sahim. That is the type of creature that Beck is. So now I have a shitload of hyena marauders following me. I got to put them on the sheet and in the token, and I mean not the tokens in the macros.
All right. And Harmon, if you want to have your new character be a cannoneer from that team, that's fine.
I'll figure it out later.
All right.
Fair enough.
As I said, I've got classes starting up again. I don't have anything on Wednesdays. However, I'm going to have a lot less time to plan, and I won't have a book to run this out of anymore. So, I might not have a game every week.
Well, there are other adventures in the Book of Adventures you could run if you don't mind doing them.
Yes, I can. So, I can jump to some of those. So that's a possibility. Let's see. Is there anything else we need for an epilogue? Or are we ready for the reading of goals and mottos?
Well, you just covered the goals, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I covered the goals, but we still need like the names, mottos, closing bit.
Sure. I'm pretty much set, so I guess I can say my piece real fast. I'm Lady Maxima Josephine Vivian Rinaldi the First, or Josephine Max. I am a Grey Fox outlaw whose personality is defiant, and I have the motto, "Don't worry, you'll remember me."
All right.
I'll go next. I was Dr. Caesar the Small, the Raven Elementalist. My motto was, I have a cure for all ailments.
My name was Neferu Bint Harit. My destiny is beyond your ken. Well, technically, Harmon's destiny was beyond our ken. We did not know that Wilson was up there.
I played Kunabald Kemp, the Badger Engineer Warlock, whose motto is, if you haven't prepared for failure, you haven't prepared for anything.
If only Harmon had known that. Anyway, thank you for playing. I know this was short. I hope people had fun. What are people's thoughts of this whole story arc, not just this final part?
It's intriguing now. I mean, it's certainly changed things. It's sort of like, you want that thing, and then when you get it, and it turns out to be like, whoa, and it just sort of hits you. You're like, this could go a number of different ways.
I'm finding that very interesting. It's going to be very cool to see what happens with having the aerial air just tooling around with us like it's no problem,
Right, like, this could be bad, it could be good.
I definitely see what you mean at this point. By it's hard to figure out how to get from A to B on this adventure. Back when you were talking about it originally.
Yeah.
And I think we did upset things by like actually succeeding at fighting off the mercenaries, which made the follow up at the windmill maybe very, very awkward.
Yeah, at the windmill, the recondite is supposed to have the air and think she still has a chance. As for Lyra Stones, according to the adventure, he pretty much just comes out of nowhere when you show up at Tamarillo and want your money back, having already signed away the estate just as you're coming in to go, hey, we got the air now.
Right. But we didn't really have like proof positive evidence of him being the heir until, of course, we got the verbal assent of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's probably got a
But
Rinaldi
now
royal
we're in
family.
that darkest timeline, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we may have jumped the rails a little too much.
Well, not too much. It was written in that the pretender gets the spot. It's just that the pretender was assumed to get the spot out of nowhere rather than you guys taking too long.
I need to figure out what skills to progress with. Let's see. What other comments can we all make? We need to have a designated talker to actually talk to people and keep talking.
Well, I have gossip,
That's not the right kind of talking.
so we need inquiry, though. Well, maybe I'll get
More someone who actually like keeps up the talking when everyone else just kind of goes,
Well, I need to get gossip so I can pick up a good load of irregulars now that I've got that gift.
All right. But yeah, it was mentioned instead of the actual skill talking, just a designated face that actually talks rather than just having the skill to talk.
Sure. I promise to do more of that.
It's like I know you
Just
can.
things
I know
didn't
you can
watch
lead the
can't go the way
conversation,
they
Liz. I've seen
expected.
you do it.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I did feel like Harmon was really pushing the let's fight these guys angle. Certainly this last episode, certainly when facing the slaver.
Well, definitely. I mean, I was all spoiling for a fight, too. I brought 2 extra guns for it.
But that's exactly what his character was made for. So it would be up to the cooler hits to prevail. Like, let's actually say something, and go like, let's not.
Like,
and of course, we also
But it was
stopped
more
talking,
confusing,
so fighting
like,
would have
what
made
do you
sense.
do specifically? Because it's like, yeah.
Because, like, the box for negotiating with the slaver is the first threat of violence or capture against Semelin will be met with a hearty laugh of disbelief. The second threat will be met with an icy stare and a growling rebuttal. The third threat will be met with a fight. And I'm reading that, and then Harmon comes out and is like, okay, that's 1. Okay, that's 2. Okay, that's 3.
He seemed to be playing in character all right. To be fair. he did sort of cut the proverbial Gordial knot in a lot of these situations. Although you were kind of right. Probably one of our talkie types should have stopped him before the windmill disaster. Well,
Yeah, and I don't really feel the bar against the door is particularly out of line, but it sounded like some of you felt that was really ridiculous.
Well, it would have had to have been previously installed. If that was the actual security system for the windmill, then I can see it being there. But if they put it up in the time between our kicking ass of Salomon and now, would they have even had a reason to have done so?
I figure it was put up around the time that they chose the windmill as their base of operations for this whole. We're going to.
Yeah, they might have a
we have
tunnel or
found the
something.
heir. We're going to reestablish him as the heir, as the Rinaldi.
well,
But
I think a part of that was, with the hinges popped out of. There was a single bar. It sounds like at least part of it is he thought his second option was pull, and that didn't work. And even if there was a single bar, it would have made sense that it would have rotated, that you could pivot it over the bar. But I don't
No,
want
it
to
was the fact that it was not a barred door as normal people would have done, but they literally sealed themselves in. It was not a door anymore, it was a wall.
no, it was a bar going from a door frame to door frame.
And I was upset about it because I felt you had reduced my player agency to nothing. Every single idea I had, I was removed from. Even to the point where I was about to die. Which is why I preferred Harmon to die, because at least I made a choice where I was allowed to affect my own character. That's why I was getting upset. I felt I was having great ideas, and every single one of them was not allowed to be had. It was personally upsetting to me, but I was trying to not be that guy.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I was trying to not have this conversation on here. I was just going to talk to you out of character. Not out of character.
Well,
I was just going to send a
thing-
text. Yeah, I understand, but at the same time, I don't like being the guy sitting there at the end of the game like, I was kind of upset there. Because it just, whatever. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun.
Well, that is kind of the purpose of these after game talks.
Right. But to me, it's like, had two good ideas and one stupid idea. And all of them were basically met to you by, no, doesn't work, talk to her. Nope, doesn't work, talk to her. Nope, doesn't work, talk to her. And I was like, well, I don't want to talk to her, so... I mean, she can't plan for everything. Like, literally, dismantled the door. No, door's barred. Okay, I'm going to open the door, because logically that makes sense that if the door's barred, then the other hinge is going to make it a big door. No, doesn't work either.
Well, this is getting a little awkward for me, and I have to take a dump. So I'm going to
take a dump, Liz. Take a dump.
All right. Care.
Like I said, I lost complete player agency to the degree that I thought my character dying was the only option that I was allowed to take that wasn't just going to be railroaded into what you wanted to happen.
All right, so would you prefer a bit more telegraphing?
No, I don't. I mean, if you have it set in stone that everything is one way, then everything is going to be that way. I'm not disputing your ability to run a game. I don't want it to come across that way. You're the GM. Everything you say happens. It's just that when I come up with 3 or 4 completely separate plans, and not a single one of them has a 5-second chance of happening, I just feel disheartened. Like, nothing I do will matter. Either I do what the railroad says I do, or I can't do anything. And I just got that in the whole first 30 minutes of the game, so I just kind of gave up.
It might have been partly the adventure design. I'm not sure if like it has options for if we break in.
I'm not going to enter into that, Ron. Because, I mean, I looked at it. I only looked at it when I died because it's like it doesn't matter anymore. So I'm not going to dispute what the GM does because the GM is the entire arbiter of the game. You are the god of this world. So it doesn't matter what the adventure says. It only matters what you say.
Well, I'll keep that in mind for further games.
Like I said, you're doing a good job. I just felt disheartened, and it got to me. So I did something.
All right. And I did deliberately make everyone a mercenary, so that may have been you may have taken that as a sign for everything can be solved by hack and slash.
No, again, if you ever watched a Western movie, sometimes the outlaws hole up in a place, and in any good Western, smoking them out is one way to get them out. That's not just get them out and I'm going to slash their throats as soon as they get outside. That's get them outside where they have equal ground to talk to you and they're not feeling like they're in a superior position. Or you don't know how many of them there are, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and when you first mentioned that, I look at the sheet and go, Elementalist, I believe there's an answer there. I might not have utilized it correctly.
I did the research, and they can cast spells in areas they can't see, but they have a D12 total concealment penalty. And I guess that's easily reasoned by the fact that she has no idea where on the roof the fire would be, and she doesn't have the ability, as far as I know, to cast water on the entire roof.
Perhaps there was a complicated series of mirrors going through tunnels underneath the ground. No, I'm just messing.
I'm just saying that, again, the reason I felt I had no agency was because every idea that I thought was clever was immediately answered to with a no. It's like, even if she could put out the fire on the roof, she'd have to know exactly where it was. And it was just instantly, no, create water. No rolls or anything. Okay, we open the door in this clever way that uses at least 3 different people's abilities. No, bar across the door in a way that still doesn't seem reasonable to me. But again, I don't want to be here harping on this the whole time. What happened happened. No argument.
All right.
Alright, that sounds like everything then.
All right. We got the most important one out of the way. Anyone else got anything they want to say? Or let off their chest?
Well, besides, the fact that we were stymied at every turn by that door, I, enjoyed the session, but I did feel Theda's frustration as well because everything getting shot down. But I mean, beyond that, the session went well. And I hope you can stick around with me at the end so I can check out the rolls for a gang of irregulars to see how many marauders I get.
All right.
Alright, and for now, I'll go ahead and call that quits myself.
All right.
Catch you next time.
Anything you want to add, Ben?
Nothing too much, other than I get the feeling that a lot of this was you not giving sufficient explanation, and then us not being willing enough to push against that expectation. Get past some of these roadblocks that people are. But I do kind of see what they're saying. Yeah, the bar was just really did sound like a roadblock, which wasn't very well explained. And he is kind of right. You should have done a little bit more explanation for the water, for the roof, and oh boy, chopping down the floor really did seem like a good idea.
Yeah, I heard that, and I looked at the map, and and looked at where he was and went, where are you doing this?
But I do kind of get the feeling that a lot with the bar on the doors didn't really. I don't know. I don't think he quite got the. How to put this? That did feel like a bit of a cheese, just because part of it was using magic to get the hinges out. And it really did sound like you were using the bar as a way to just prevent any other creative ways for moving forward. But I did kind of figure that was more miscommunication on both. I just didn't.
I mean, ultimately, I'd have to ask, to what end? Why wouldn't you just let us open the door if there was nobody down there anyway?
Basically, they wanted to keep their facility closed, but
The windows were guarded by, what, tarps? Sheets? They were just covered. There was nothing in them. They created a bar across the door when they had, what, 4 giant openings in the building anyway.
8, actually.
I'm talking about first floor.
Oh, then just 2.
But that's what I'm saying, that you could have hand-waved the bar. It's like, it doesn't matter, there's nobody in there.
Yeah, it's set up such that there's only one entrance in the front, and people could try to flee out the windows if you attack.